Okay, so all you very patient Triumph Rocket 3 supercharger guys to be, because we've still got your superchargers here. We've been working flat out for a long time now trying to get everything together so that we can give you the ultimate supercharger kit and give you a relatively easy fit. So we're going to pre-assemble so much of this kit so that you have so little to do when you get the kit parts. I gave people the option of black or clear, or if they want it painted. I sort of shot myself in the foot with that because it's a lot of work. One of my customers wants it the same red as the red on his Triumph. There is no color code from Triumph, so we had to buy a rear mudguard of the right red color so that we could get it scanned and get all his parts made the same red. So you'll see that in a minute. You'll see the colors. A lot of masking off, threads, bearing holes, seal holes, just to get everything together so that when we start assembling, we don't have any trouble. So colossal amount of work for the painted guy. The other guys who wanted clear or black, we went Cerakote, and Cerakote is a beautiful finish. And the good thing is we don't have to mask anything off. We can still get the threads in the holes, or the screws in the threaded holes, should I say. The bearings in their holes, because the finish is such a thin surface, it's not changing any tolerances that matter. So we've now got the job of assembling 10 kits. So here is some of the critical parts. So you've seen already, this is the main case. And you see this beautiful finish. This Cerakote black is a beautiful, beautiful finish. All the threads are good. 2 big bearings in here and a seal. Water pump bearings and 2 seals. So for the water pump, we've got to push that in. We've got those 2 bearings to put in. We've got that seal to put in. So, you know, that's all got to be done nicely without damaging any paintwork. And then the drive, so we've got the drive plate there that locates on the clutch, and we've got the pulley that's on the outside. So, whoops. So these bearings that we talked about are these big mothers here. Look at the size of those. So we have to put 2 to stop the plate moving around on roller bearings, sorry, ball bearings that could move around. So we put 2 side by side to give it some rigidity. So they go in, the seal goes in first, the seal locates on the inside there. So bearings are in, this comes through from the back, goes through the bearings, through the seal, well not through the seal, it goes through the seal but it doesn't locate on the seal. The seal is located on there, so that goes on the outside. So we're going to put that all together for you so you don't have to. And then through the center of all this goes an extended clutch push rod so that the clutch operates. As you know, this was quite a unique idea to get over the problem of the engine running backwards and driving off the clutch, which is rotating in the right direction, and then having the pulley ratios to get the supercharger to the speed it needs to be. So that's all going in. On the back side is a big oil tank for the supercharger. This has got an O-ring groove in. So you got a 2mm O-ring groove all the way around. So we're going to fit the O-ring for you, and we're going to install the plate that sits over the back. So that has to go in there. Then we've got threaded hole for the dipstick, which incorporates a temperature sensor, temperature gauge. So we've got oil coming back from the supercharger going in there at the top of the tank. Fills the tank, obviously, and it keeps the flow into the tank. Coming out of the tank is this thread here. At the bottom is sump plug with a magnet. So we've got the magnet to keep any debris away from the supercharger. It will be attracted to the magnet. So that makes that all a nice circuit. Very, the supercharger's just here and the pipe work's just coming up to a very short run through here and up and round. We're going to put the supercharger in. We're going to put all the pipe work in. There'll be so little for you guys to do. So this is going to take us all week to do these kits, to make sure all the threads are free from any debris from the light blasting they've had before they've been coated. The pulleys, we've got the bearings in the pulleys now, the circlips, so we have two of those, one here and one here, and then we've got a tensioner pulley that's here, which I'll show you in a minute. And the belt run, that runs all the way up here around. So we try to get as much belt wrap on the supercharger pulley by putting this pulley in here, and then that comes round and around the supercharger, around the crank pulley and back up. So that's that element. You've seen this before. This is a super duper carbon intake, so that sits under the tank like that. That goes into the supercharger. So we've got the original air filter and original air intake, which has worked out superbly and simply for us and makes the job look even more OE. Okay, so when it comes to the plenum chamber, you can see the work that's gone into this. That's the plenum chamber back. That's the back of the breather box. Comes from the bottom, top of the engine into the breather box. This is the cover for it. See how we've baffled everything so that we don't get oil coming out. And then that goes, whoops, wrong way around. That goes like that. But this is all upside down at the moment, so when I turn it over, we're looking at that. So that's the inside of the plenum chamber, breather box. Now you'll see that there's an O-ring groove all the way around there. So we'll be fitting the O-ring groove and we'll be bolting that in, so you don't have to. There's an O-ring around here, all the way around here. Now that we can't fit because you have to put that to the bike and put the bolts through here into these shafts. This comes off the engine, and this is the right spacing to hold the plenum chamber from the engine and locate it in the throttle bodies. Throttle bodies, again, we've got an O-ring groove around here. Here, 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 and here. This is where the bolts are going into the back. We don't want any air leaks. The air temperature sensor goes in from the back, so you'll have to fit that. And then the blow-off valve sits on that face there. The blow-off valve's built on internally, and we've got a vacuum line that comes from your throttle body through there, through here, and through into the front of the plenum chamber. And as you see, we've cerakoted the plenum chamber front. We've got a subtle change of black in the supercharged. When the light catches this, you can really see the difference between the black and the supercharged. We're still waiting for the carbon fibre insert to go in. So sorry guys, you've got a day or two to wait yet. So that all sits in there, nice carbon fibre, which matches the carbon fibre of the air intake. So this is a little luxury that's cost me an arm and a leg, but it just had to be right. So that's the front, the back of it. You've got the piston goes in here with a spring and O-rings to operate the blow-off valve, where you can see that sits against there. So the piston sits against there. Blow-off valve pushes in there. It's operated through this air vent that comes from the throttle body, like I say, through there, sealed with that O-ring and into there, and then it sucks the piston back when it's under boost and pushes it forward when it's under vacuum. So that's your blow-off valve built in. Lots of different screws to go in, lots and lots of parts, and just to give you an idea, this is the bill of materials for picking all the components to give you this fantastic supercharger kit. So we start off, we've got all the nuts, belts, O-rings, main cases, case bolts, drain plug covers, pulley top up bushes for underneath the pulleys to locate the pulley in the right position. The drive plate, that's the big clutch drive plate. Drive plate seals, bearings, belt guard bolts, inspection cover. We've got a little carbon fibre cover to go in at the top on the outside of the belt guard. That should be with us on Monday. Had those made in carbon fibre as well. Plenum base, you've just seen that. All the mounting spacers, O-rings, throttle body O-rings, O-ring cord. Breather box, that's a piece at the back. The bolts and the O-ring cord. Plenum lid. Lower valve springs, seals, vacuum fittings. Plenum lid bolts, air temp sensor bolt, vac hose, T-piece. A couple of extra bits we've got in here. Carbon fibre air intake, supercharger oil in adapter, oil hose, oil out hose, all the banjo bolts, copper washers, supercharger oil, par valve blanking plates, injectors, clutch springs, slave cylinder banjo bolt, banjo spacer, copper washers, and then the mapping. So when we get to a point where we know what you're doing for power, what you want for power, then we'll supply you a good base map to get you underway. So that's it, boys and girls. It's one hell of a kit. It's been a tremendous project to be involved with. I don't think I've made any money out of it. You guys have paid a decent screw, but when the next batch goes up, there's going to be a big price hike because I can't do this for the price we've done it this time, especially with aluminium going up 108% in raw billet costs. Thank you very much for having faith in me and putting your money down and being one of the early adopters. And I'm sure we can work together and make this something really special. Can't wait to see you guys with these parts on your bike. It'll be a really good thing to see. So good luck.